Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. A week ago today, I put out this video on the death of Jim Morrison, the lead singer of The Doors, at age 27 in Paris, France. In that video, I showed the synchronicities between his life and dying in Paris on the date he did, as well as the parallels to the death of his girlfriend in 1974, who discovered him in a bathtub, unconscious, passed away. The one thing I missed in this video, I talked about his father, the admiral in the U.S. military, very much responsible for the needless Vietnam War, and how Jim Morrison got to be a part of the counterculture singing out against the wars. Very interesting that his father, one of the chief players in making war. What I missed in that video, however, is that the same day his father decommissioned his ship, his father was an admiral in the Navy, the same day he decommissioned his ship is the same day his son, Jim Morrison, passed. I didn't know that until after I finished the video. Very interesting detail. If you want to read up on that, check that out. Since making this video, a lot of people have asked me to do the death of Jimi Hendrix, who also passed at age 27 the year prior in 1970. In this video, I'm going to show you the synchronicities between the death of Jimi Hendrix as well as Kurt Cobain, another rock legend from Seattle or with Seattle ties that also passed at age 27. As I do this work, what I want you to understand is that the people who control the entertainment industry, including the recording studios, they are Masonic Zionist Jews. They very much work by number codes, and they have an interest in their entertainers that they hire, employ, make famous. They have an interest in them dying. And that's because when entertainers die, the things that they've been a part of, from music to movies, often become more lucrative, more in demand. They sell more, meaning they earn more profit for the people controlling these industries. And sadly, we live in a world where it's profit and money over people very often. So with that said, let's get into the deaths of Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain. These are all members of the 27 Club. In my earlier videos, where I understood this work but not as well as I do now, I've talked about the 27 Club. If you use the birth numerology method that we're going to talk about in this video to go look at your favorite rock star who died at age 27, you're going to find that they have very similar birth numerology. As we're going to uncover in this video, Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain, who died at age 27, both had 27 birth numerology. So just understand that what I show in this video, you can take these skills, you can apply it elsewhere. What's happened to these musicians has happened to many others. So Jimi Hendrix was born James Marshall Hendrix, November 27th, 1942. We'll get to what's so significant about that date. Born in Seattle, Washington, and we're going to start right there with the place of birth. Seattle, the rock capital of the world in the late 80s, early 90s. A lot of very famous bands that have gotten a lot of radio play coming out of Seattle. Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, Pixies, Stone Temple Pilots, and many more. Seattle is a fitting city for rock bands to come out of. The Masons, the Zionists who control the recording industry, they practice the language of numerology and gematria. In Jewish mysticism, there's something called Kabbalah that's very much centered around numbers. We'll talk more about Kabbalah at the end of this video. But just notice, the words rock and the word legend both have gematria 47. Seattle's right on the 47th parallel. The main landmark in Seattle, the Space Needle, which you can see in this picture, it has a rotating restaurant. The restaurant does a full rotation every 47 minutes. The word time in gematria sums to 47. Very special numbers. The Zionist state of Israel recognized as a state in the year 47. Some more 47 words: radio, pop, rock, legend, all apply to the entertainment music industry. So Jimi Hendrix, born in the year 42. 42, a very special number to the Freemasons. Freemason equals 42. It's also a number stamped on black people all through history. The most hateful word for black Americans has 42 gematria. So do a lot of other divisive words. The date of his birth, what stands out the most about the numerology is the 27. Of course, he would end up dying at age 27. The name Jimmy, this is a typo here. The name Jimmy has gematria of 41. Jim has gematria of 32. Jimmy sums to 41. 41 is the 13th prime number. If you write out the word 13, it has gematria of 99. It's interesting that he's born on a date with 99 numerology. We'll talk about Courtney Love in this video. She has a parallel to that as well. So, the date he's born on, November 27th, it is the 331st day of the calendar year. That is the 67th prime number. Kurt Cobain was born in the year 67. Another number connected to celebrity sacrifice is 67. If you follow my work, I show how often 67 is coded into celebrity death. Earlier this year when Vanity died, I said Prince better watch his ass. Prince died 67 days after Vanity. He had a June 7th birthday. Blood sacrifice in gematria equals 67. November 27th is also the day that leaves 34 days left in the year. The word murder equals 34. He had the right birth for a ritual sacrifice. He also died 70 days before what would have been his 28th birthday. Notice he died at 27, born on the 27th day of the month, a date with 27 birth numerology. He died in the year 70 days before his birthday. He died on September 18th. Very interesting. 70 in gematria sums to 38, just like the word death. The next most common number in these celebrity sacrifices are 38 and 44, and those are both numbers we're going to get to for both of these men's deaths. With regards to Prince, Prince just died on the 44th parallel. Prince in gematria equals 38, so does Minnesota, so does Chanhassen. So do a lot of other details in the story, which I've talked about in the video. But these numbers that we're talking about here, they're coded on so many entertainers' deaths, it's astounding when you really look at it. Want to take the time and go through my channel? Most of it's here. The day Jimi Hendrix died was a date with a life lesson number of 44. The word kill equals 44. So many celebrities have died according to this number. Kurt Cobain, who has a parallel to Jimi Hendrix, for example, was found 44 days after his birthday, or it said he died 44 days after his birthday on April 5th, born February 20th. The name Cobain in gematria sums to the same thing as kill. Both Cobain and kill 44. Kurt Cobain dead 44 days after his birthday. The name Kurt Donald Cobain has gematria of 65 and 74. So does the band Foo Fighters. If you know your rock music, you know why I just said Foo Fighters. Talk about the parallels between Dave Grohl in just a moment. Notice that Kurt Cobain in gematria, I spelled it wrong there, but the math is still right. Just sometimes I type too quickly. Kurt Cobain in gematria sums to 42 and 51. 42, again, the number for Freemason Jimi Hendrix, born in the year 42. Masonic 74, Freemason 42, numbers coded into his name, Kurt Donald Cobain. The name Kurt alone sums to 70 in gematria. Remember, Jimi Hendrix dead 70 days before his birthday in the year 70. The name Kurt Cobain in gematria sums to 114. Dave Grohl's born on January 14th, which we'll get to. Kurt Cobain's initials also very interesting. KC, K the 11th letter, C the 3rd. 11-3, a lot like 113, a very important number to the Zionists. Bava Kama 113 says it's okay to lie to people who aren't Jewish. Mainstream equals 113. Dishonest equals 113. Recognize that what could also be going on besides celebrity sacrifice is having celebrities fake their deaths. I don't know what they would do after. I don't know what the incentive of a 27-year-old who's in the limelight to give it up is. Unless, maybe it's do this or else. But it is something to keep in mind, These people could truly be faking their deaths, and going to live, you know, maybe a nice, peaceful, relaxing life away from the public. You know, Kurt Cobain, listen to his lyrics. Did it sound like he liked humanity? You know, he wanted to be dumber so he could fit in, you know. A lot of artists, entertainers, not always the biggest fans of their fellow man. So people who would have an incentive, perhaps, to get away. You know, in the Jim Morrison video, I began with his rant against humanity, how he's talking about how everybody's a bunch of morons. So anyway, Kurt Cobain, his name in gematria summed to 51, and he's also born on the 51st day of the year. Kurt Cobain, born on the 51st day. The word conspiracy also equals 51. The name Jimi Hendrix has gematria corresponding with conspiracy. Kurt Cobain, born in the year 67, just talked about that number. The date of his birth numerology, 27, dead at 27. Also a life lesson number of 45, and they say he died April 5th, a date that we write 4/5 in the United States. The day he was dead was a date with 122 numerology. Come back up here for a second so you can see those Seattle coordinates. The 47th parallel, the 122nd meridian. The word Freemason in Francis Bacon gematria equals 122. The Jewish word for God, Elohim, equals 122. Special number in Jewish gematria, 122. And Seattle's on the 122nd meridian. So is San Francisco, where Courtney Love's from. Courtney Love and Dave Grohl, the biggest beneficiaries of the death of Kurt Cobain. Again, Cobain dead 44 days after his birthday. Cobain, same thing as kill. So Jimi Hendrix, his full name, James Marshall Hendrix in gematria, sums to 106, number of prophecy. Kurt Cobain was found dead April 8th, 1994, a date with 106 numerology. This number of prophecy, very important to the Masons and Zionists. They've used it all throughout history, from the killing of people to so much scripted history that we read about in our textbooks. The first state in this nation established on a date with 106 numerology. The Zionist state Israel established on a date with 106 numerology. Very important number to the gang, because what they think they're doing is fulfilling prophecy by the numbers and leading us and the general public along. Jimi Hendrix, the name he commonly went by, gematria of 69, came to be this great musician in the 60s, dies at the very beginning of the 70s. Jimi Hendrix, remembered for his music in the 60s. 69, the number at the top of the Masonic arch. Where Jimi Hendrix died, Kensington, London, England. London has gematria of 74, like Masonic, by the way. But Kensington, London, England, in Pythagorean sums to 106, like prophecy, also like his name. Again, a common pattern. So often where these celebrities are born, where they die, the locations correspond with their name. The name Hendrix equals 82, just like Seattle. I should point out that the word entertain has gematria of 106, and this is how the powers that be are leading us on in this world, getting us to go along with a very terrible system. They're giving us entertainment that makes life just good enough. For so many people, if there weren't this music, if there weren't this entertainment, I think a lot of people would be, this world would be unbearable for them. This is the way they string us along to their code of prophecy. So James Marshall Hendrix, the way he spells Hendrix, an interesting way, gematria of 82 like Seattle, almost makes you wonder. Sometimes I think what's going on is, these talented people are found, and the people in the gang, they say, okay, this is what your name was, this is what day you used to be born, this is where you used to be from, but this is your new identity, this is your new city of birth, this is your new date of birth. It really seems that might be going on, to have all the synchronicities that I reveal with these celebrities who die by the numbers or seemingly born by the numbers. This research is ongoing, trying to understand it more and more each day. That's why I also put out this research, so you guys can put your minds to it, help me connect the pieces that I don't connect yet. It's like putting together a puzzle. But anyhow, Jimi Hendrix, also 123. Conspiracy, the big way, 123. The small way, 51. Remember, Kurt Cobain equals 51, born on the 51st day. 2 Seattle musicians, rock stars, dead at age 27. Seattle and Hendrix. The last music festival that Jimi Hendrix played was 18 days before his death, the Isle of Wight Festival in England, the United Kingdom, where he passed. This festival has gematria of 227. What this number represents is cycles and circles. And you know, we live in a world that cycles and circles. If you divide 22 by 7, you get the approximation for the number pi. You know, that you learned about in mathematics, 2 pi r squared, having to do with circles, area, radius, circumference. In gematria, if you write out 22 divided by 7, it sums to 314. The number pi is 3.14. They call March 14th Pi Day. We find this number 227 around death a lot. Last year, February 27th, 2015, I predicted there would be a celebrity death that day. It ended up being Spock by the numbers. I showed how the Star Trek movie that comes out July 22nd is synced up with his death. You can check out that video. I did it in the video on the death of the recent star that's going to be in the movie. I can't think of his name right now. Anton Yelchin, I think. He died just before Game 7 of the NBA Finals, also at age 27. You know, 227, 27, there's a 27 in it as well, you know. Before that, Jimi Hendrix played Woodstock in 69. He was the closer in 69 for Woodstock, the biggest rock concert ever. Woodstock has that gematria of 44. He died on a date with a life lesson number of 44. So many musicians have died by that number. You know, Marvin Gaye, dead on the last day of being 44. Sam Cooke, dead by the similar numbers. So many people. Civil rights leaders, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., presidents, worldwide. It's not just the United States either. Anyhow, Jimi Hendrix lays to rest in Renton, Washington, which is about 15 minutes south of Seattle on the freeway. Between Tacoma and Seattle, Renton, Washington, gematria of 38 like death. What else stands out to me about Renton, Washington is its gematria of 216. This is the number for God in Kabbalah. Kabbalah is all about 216. The number 666, if you multiply 6 times 6 times 6, you get to 216. We were talking about pi. If you add the first 144 decimal points of pi, it sums to 666. All of these numbers come back to times, cycles, circles. The word prophecy in Jewish gematria sums to 666. All of this is interconnected, you know. Prophecy, fulfilling God's will. Just recognize the people who are doing this are madmen, you know. But this is what they're doing. So here's Courtney Love. A lot of people theorize that Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain. You know, you talk to most people about Kurt Cobain's death, they think Courtney Love's responsible. Interesting that she was born July 9th. Like 7-9, the word murder equals 79. Flip it around, 9/7. We talked about how that number connected to Jimi Hendrix's birth. She's born in San Francisco on the 122nd meridian. Again, Kurt Cobain dead on a date with 122 numerology. She also has the 99 birth numerology like Jimmy. The name Courtney Love sums to the same thing as Freemasonry. You know, it's the Freemasons doing this. Her initials CL. C's the third letter, L's the 12th. 12 in numerology breaks down to 3. CL, a lot like 33. Rock star, 33. Number of obsession in Freemasonry. Kurt Cobain's song About a Girl is supposedly about Courtney Love. Interesting that About a Girl has gematria of 106, just like Prophecy. As I also often say, I'm not sure that the musicians write all of these songs. I think a lot of them are written by the gang and put out as riddles, you know? That 1983 song by the Police, Murder by Numbers, I don't think the Police wrote that. I think that song was a major hint about what's really going on in the industry and had been going on long before '83. Kurt Cobain's body discovered April 8th, 1994, a date with 106 numerology. You know, again and again. These are just two men, both connected to Seattle. If I went through all the dead rock stars, you'd see just how many more of these examples there are. That date, April 8th, it's interesting for a lot of reasons. Hoax equals 48, evil equals 48, propaganda equals 48, Illuminati equals 48. The Illuminati was established on May 1st, 5-1, like conspiracy, like Freemason. The man who is credited with establishing it, his name in Gematria sums to 51. All throughout the centuries, this number code's been going on. The Freemasons have been in charge for a long time. Hollywood, also Gematria 48, another entertainment industry. There's been plenty of movies made about Kurt Cobain's death. Flip that date around, it can also be written 8/4, United States of America equals 84, major death in the nation, states the big way equals 84. The divisors of 44, all the numbers that divide into 44, sum to 84. Cobain, 44, dead 44 days after his birthday. So besides Courtney Love, Dave Grohl also had a lot to gain. Interesting that Dave Grohl's 47 years old right now. He's from Ohio. Ohio has Gematria 47, like rock, like Seattle on the 47th parallel. His date of birth, January 14th, again, Kurt Cobain equals 114. Born in the year 69. From Dave Grohl's birthday to the date Kurt Cobain supposedly died, a span of 82 days. Again, Seattle equals 82. Nirvana, based out of Seattle. Kurt Cobain would say Aberdeen, but that's just up on the peninsula, not too far. Also, the span of 2 months and 23 days stands out, as well as 11 weeks and 5 days. Freemasons, the plural, equals 115. Killing equals 115. 223, that's the number connected to Masonic. The Synagogue of Satan is the name for the false Jews who will rule in the end times, which are the Zionist Jews that control the recording industry. 223. His last name, Grohl, perfect for a rock star. Grohl, just like Rockstar, 33. Courtney Love breaks down to 33. Rock and Dave Grohl, 47, just like Seattle on the 47th parallel. Foo Fighters, 74, The Reflection. His band, Foo Fighters, wrote the song Everlong, that's supposedly a tribute to Kurt Cobain. Cobain, 44, Everlong, 44. Think it's all a coincidence? It certainly is not. If you do think it's a coincidence, go back and watch more of my videos. See all of the celebrity deaths I have decoded, even predicted. I said Muhammad Ali would die at age 74. He died at age 74. I said that in 2013. He ended up dying on June 3rd. The Prophet Muhammad, who Muhammad Ali took his name after, died at age 63. Muhammad Ali died 63 days before the start of the Summer Games. Why is that important? 63, if you add every number up to 63, it sums to 2016, just like the year Muhammad Ali died in. Also, he's known for, or remembered for, opening the 96 Summer Olympics in Atlanta. Muhammad Ali equals 96, just like Freemason, a boxing ring's 96 feet around. Rio has the same gematria as Muhammad Ali. It'll be the Rio Summer Games this year. Getting off topic, but just laying down more examples. If you want to learn more about gematria in the entertainment industry, check out the movie Pi. They talk about this number 216, they talk about the number 44, they talk about gematria, they talk about Kabbalah, the significance of this to the Jewish people. Jewish equals 74, Masonic equals 74, English equals 74, gematria equals 74. We just had the 4th of July, Independence Day equals 74, holiday equals 74. The first Thanksgiving was celebrated 74 years before it was made a national holiday. We live in a nation ruled by Masonic, Jewish banker tyrants. It's profit over people. It's distract. It's deceive. It's disgusting. One more thing. 216, big number in Kabbalah. Right now, the President of the United States is the 44th president. His name, Barack, has English gematria of 216. His birthday is August 4th, which is the 216th day of the year. The name Obama in Jewish gematria also sums to 84. Remember, we said the divisors of 44 sum to 84. 44th president, born on 8/4. Obama, 84. Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, that is not a real name. That is an actor agent name. And just imagine, if we have actor agents in the White House, which we do you not think we can have them as our musicians, our movie stars? I'll leave you with that. Until next time, True